You have a really powerful secret, especially if you are in outdoor hospitality. You have a really powerful secret, but you are not listening. Your worst sin is that you have destroyed and betrayed yourself for nothing. Dostoevsky said that. It's kind of heavy for a Friday morning, but stick with me here and we'll find our way back to happiness. Seriously, though, let that sink in for a moment. Your worst sin is that you have destroyed and betrayed yourself for what? Nothing. We don't often talk about this kind of sin, the quiet, invisible one. This is not something that comes from doing something wrong, but the one that comes from abandoning yourself, your dreams, your intuition, your truth for nothing, for busyness, for approval, for doing what the world told you you're supposed to do. Now, here Dostoevsky again in Natoshka Nezvanova, he writes, "You felt you were destined for other things, but you had no idea how to achieve them. And in your misery, you began to hate everything around you." Now, that is an ache that so many people have known, that restless wandering when we sense that we're meant for something more, but we have no map for how to get there. It often shows up as disappointment, a job that doesn't fit, a dream that stalls, a life that feels way smaller than the one we had imagined. But what if those disappointments aren't punishments? What if they're invitations, the beginning of the call to adventure that we've been refusing? Because that's how every hero's journey begins, and every human is the story of the hero's journey, as I'm sure you all know. But what does it begin with? It begins with discontent, with restlessness, with a quiet voice inside of you, a little whisper that says, there's more you can do. There's more to you than this. And most of us resist that call at first. We stay in what's familiar. We keep pushing, fixing, performing. But life has a way of circling back, bringing us again and again to the same threshold until we finally say yes. I have seen this story play out again and again in hospitality. People come in lost, searching, sometimes broken. They just walk in needing a paycheck, a little stability, a place to start over. And somewhere along the way, something shifts. I have talked to so many people. I ask a lot of frontline workers, how did you wind up here? What's happening now? What do you love about this? What do you not love? Here's what I hear. I needed a job. And that quietly becomes, I found my family. I thought I was passing through turns into this is where I belong. And that is the quiet miracle of this industry, the way it seems to gather wanderers and give them a home. There is wisdom in not knowing. I really wish I could remember his name, but a brilliant scientist recently said, one of the things I learned in my life is that the periods when I thought I wasn't achieving anything were terribly important. I didn't realize it at the time, but without them, none of the things that have come since would have come. We live in a world where people are made to feel they must be useful every minute, but not doing and not knowing are very important elements, unquote. He goes on to say, not knowing and not doing are not ignorance or idleness. They are forms of deep attention. They're sacred pauses, moments when the roots grow before the flowers appear. Unquote. And that speaks directly to what so many in hospitality are feeling right now. There is a sense of exhaustion, the constant push, the never ending need to prove and produce. And yet, all of us in outdoor hospitality already know the power of wandering. It's the essence of what we do. We get out in nature. Our guests come looking for something beyond entertainment or the traditional definition of luxury. They come for space. They come for quiet, space to breathe, to listen, to rediscover who they are in the stillness of nature. But here's the irony. We rarely allow that same space for ourselves, and we definitely don't give it to our teams. We keep fixing, improving, pushing, waiting for someday when we can finally have that team retreat, when we can finally deliver on our promises to those we have employed, when we can really create the kind of culture that we envisioned when we first started on this journey. And there's not going to be that time. It doesn't just happen, that reflection, that resting, that feeling free again, but wandering, not knowing, stillness. These are the signs, not of weakness, but of courage and of curiosity, and ultimately of the strength that will totally rebuild your team. These are essential elements of growth. They are the soil in which creativity, connection, and resilience are born. Hospitality culture right now needs to change. We have built an industry around doing, but we're starving for being. We've glorified burnout. We've normalized turnover. We've forgotten that the heart of hospitality isn't efficiency, it's belonging. And right now, we have a once in a generation opportunity to reset that culture, to help young people find home in hospitality, not just work. Owners and managers, this is where your leadership matters most. You hold the keys to creating loyal families, not just teams. You have the power to build places where people grow roots, not just collect paychecks. When you take time to train, to mentor, to listen, you're not just teaching job skills, you're shaping confidence, you're shaping identity, you're giving someone the experience of being seen. That kind of leadership doesn't just retain employees, it transforms them. And when people feel seen, supported, and safe, they don't leave. They rise. They bring their best selves to every guest, every moment, every day. This is what creates legacy. That's how hospitality becomes a movement again, not just a troubled industry. We got to come home to ourselves. And maybe that sounds corny, but maybe this is what Dostoevsky was warning us about, not betraying our souls for nothing. Maybe the real work isn't about doing more, but allowing more, trusting your team more, giving them more purpose, giving them more responsibility. Allow the uncertainty, the creativity, allow stillness, allowing others and ourselves to not have to have it all figured out. The wandering is not wasted. It's where we learn to listen. It's where we find what matters. It's where we finally come home to ourselves. So, if you're in that in between space right now, if you feel stuck, tired, unsure of what's next, trust the process, trust your team. Don't rush to fix it. Don't betray yourself for nothing. Because this moment right here, the one that feels slow, unproductive, or uncertain, might be the most important one of your life. The only way to find home sometimes is to stop trying so hard to get somewhere else. Welcome to Expitality Time, the experience of hospitality, because the experience of hospitality transforms the world. Hospitality is a way of being in the world. If you resonate with this conversation, there are 4 ways you can, through hospitality, help me transform this world, just the whole world, and the world of hospitality. But yeah, the whole world. You can join our Outdoor Hospitality Collective Mastermind. You can join our free weekly roundtable. You can also apply to be featured live on Expitality Outdoors YouTube and podcast. You can join our Regeneration Roundtable to learn about regenerative luxury. And if you want to inspire frontline hospitality workers, share the newsletter from my website, Happy Secrets, and that encourages them to keep on serving from the heart. People are inspired not by what they know to be accurate, but by what they can believe is possible for them. And hospitality makes it possible for them to believe. Have a great weekend.